All right, hello pilots and Fly360 users. Today I want to do a quick video on how to customize your Fly360 running LK8000 software and the importance of doing this. One of the biggest complaints I get, or not complaints, comments I get, is that the system is far too complex and has far too many features and screens available, and people tend to get lost. So for example, this unit here, hopefully you can see this in my fish tank over there. My reef isn't causing too much interference, but this is a stock system. This is the way you'll get yours. And you'll notice, like if I click the sidebar here or the side of the page here, maps page, I mean there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're back to the main map. So there's 5 clicks just to get through the maps. Same with the bottom bar down here. Now I already have a document up on my website, flykobo.ca. It's called How to Customize the Bottom Bar. But by default, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, there's just a ton of information down here. So I do have a document already created on how to customize the bottom bar. So for example, this is a stock unit. This is my personal unit. Cancel. And you'll notice on the bottom bar, I have, let's see if that shows up there. I have ground speed, height above ground level, track, odometer, fly time. I've got a second bar that shows home distance, the G's I'm pulling, wind speed, wind direction, max altitude. And that's it. It's just the 2. Okay, so I've got 2 customized with all the information that I need. Out of the box, we've got all of these. Okay, you need to be paying attention to flying and not trying to find the information on your Fly360 here. So once again, look at that doc called Customizing the Bottom Bar. Same with if you go to touch the middle of the bottom bar here, you go to page 1, okay, and there's 1.1 cruise information, thermal information, task information, custom information, contest information, turn, your HSI, okay, and you're back to cruise. Same thing, page 2, all right, you've got page 2.1, airports, landables, TPSs, ASPs, airspace I'm getting, and then you're back to airports again. And if you go to page 3, there's page 1, common, history, thermal, back to common again. There's just too much. Now if you take a look at my system here, this is the one, this is my own personal unit here, and this is the one I've customized. So for side maps, I've got 1, 2, enabled, and then I'm back to my main screen instead of the 5 that are default. If I go to page 1 here, I've got the turn and bank indicator here. I like this one. It makes me feel like a fighter pilot. And I've got my HSI. I use this one a lot to figure out which runway is in use. I'm a bit compass dumb. But that's it for page 2, right? So very quickly I can get to, if I'm at the main map, right, and I need to know, they say runway 03 is the runway in use. It's click, click, I've got my compass, okay? Instead of going through, an example on this one, instead of going page 1 and then going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm finally at the right screen. But that entire time I haven't been paying attention to flying at all. Same thing down here with page 2. I have nearest airports and nearest airspaces. Everything else I have disabled on my system. Page 3, I've got common and history. These are the last few places I've taken off and flown from since I've reset everything. And then I'm back to the main screen. So, once again, if you're not going to be using any of this cruise kind of information, turn this page off. If you're not doing thermals, if you're not a glider pilot or a paraglider pilot, turn this page off. Same with task. This is all for FAI triangles. Not this one. Sorry, this one is all for tasks for glider and paraglider type competitions. Custom page. I don't even know what this one is for. contest. This one is for FAI triangles. If, the fly FAI distance, points, all that other stuff. If you're not doing FAIs, turn this off. You do not need this page. Turn is nice. HSI is nice. Once again, you're back to the cruise page. Page 2, we've got 2-1 airports. That's nice. Landables. I mean, this one's kind of useless. This is once again more for paraglider guys that can land just about anywhere. For all of us pilots with large wings and engines and whatnot, we're only going to be landing at airports. So you can turn landables off. TPSs, you can turn this one off unless you're doing it. Nearest airspace might be handy, might not. Page 3, common, history, thermals. Unless you're using thermals, don't bother using this one.
Check the display on your iPhone for the answer.
I didn't ask you, sorry. Thank you for eavesdropping. Sorry about that. Now, I'm going to show you how to get to those screens and customize it. So you're going to want to go down to the bottom here and choose M for menu. We're going to click Config. We're going to click Config again. We're going to go into LK8000 Setup, and we're going to go System Setup. This is where you get to everything, okay? The page you want, just a quick FYI, page 9 is units. If you want to change it from metric to statute to whatever, that's page 9. We want page 10, interface, okay? The first one we want to do is configure multi-maps, the one at the bottom here, okay? All the side maps are currently turned on, whereas if I go to mine, let me just go here real quick, config, LK8000 setup, system setup, we want to go to page 10, okay. Oh, one too far, configure multi-maps. You'll notice I only have 2 of the maps enabled. The one is a close-up view of the terrain and the airspaces. The second one is a slightly further back view so you can see airspaces that are coming up. The other 2 I have disabled because I just don't use them at all. Okay? On here, by default, all 4 plus the main map are enabled. All right, the next one you want to configure is configure info pages. You'll notice by default, everything is turned on. If you simply click one of these, like for example, 1.1 cruise, if you don't want that, turn it off. If you don't want the thermal page, turn it off. If you're not doing tasks, turn it off, okay? Let me show you the difference. Stock, everything on, lots and lots of pages. My personal unit here. Most things are off. Okay, like I said, turn and bank indicator, I like that one. I have nearest airports on. I have the HSI on. I have airspaces, common, and history on. And that's it. Everything else I have disabled. All right, so that is a really quick way of dumbing the system down and making it much easier for you to get to the information that you need while you're flying. All right, there's one other thing I wanted to show you. Let me go on this one. Close. By default, we have this very noisy Vero over here, and you have, your speed over here. Once again, another speed and your Vero. If you want to turn these off and just have the screen just showing you relevant information, if you don't want the Vero on there, that is called configure overlays. And I will show you where that is. That is on page 13. Appearance, fonts, map overlays. This is the screen you want. You want to go into configuration and you want to turn all of these off except for top left. The top left is this guy here, is your task, your home, your best alternate and landing spot when you're flying. Okay. But by turning everything else off, you disable this Vero bar here, the ground speed here, this kind of overlay that lets you know what view you're looking at the map, and that way you will only get a map view. Let me show you what that looks like real quick. So once again, menu, config, LK8000 setup, system setup. We're going to go to page 13, overlays. Okay, configuration at the top here. Turn everything off. Off. That was top right. That was a clock. You may want that one on. I like that one. top right, and turn this one off. I'm just going to go through all of these, turn everything off. Bottom left, left top, left center. That'll be your Vero right there. Left bottom, turn that one off. Left corner off. So I've got everything off except top left, top right. If we close out now and we go back to the main screen, look at that. There's nothing moving on the screen anymore. There's none of this useless information. We've got rid of the ground speed, the second ground speed, the Vero. The only thing we have is our little north indicator here and our task one for takeoff, home, and best landing. Everything else is off. You've now got a full screen without a Vero. Okay? Very, very important, guys. Customize your system. Make it so that it's simple to use for you so that you can very quickly and easily get to the information that you want and you're not paying more attention to this than flying. Any questions? Shoot me an email. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm always happy to answer your questions and help you guys out. Thank you.